Continue.
Okay, yep. You take the mask off.
All right.
Are you ready?
Yep.
All right, everybody hold tight for 1 second. I'm going to give everybody permission to record. We'll get started with Coach Tang here in just a second. We're going to use the raise hand function if you'd like to ask a question. As a reminder, we will have this recording posted to our box link as soon as possible. All right. If you'd like to ask a question to Coach Tang, please use the raise hand function. If you're not capable of doing that, feel free to shoot me a text or put something in the chat. First question for Coach Tang comes from Kendall Kaut with Our Daily Bears.
Hey, Jerome, real good team victory. You all offensive rebounded very well. What allowed you all to, I guess, collect so many offensive rebounds tonight? Was that a focus against the zone?
It's always teams that play zone usually have a tough time rebounding, and they weren't a good offensive rebounding team last year and lost, two draft picks. So we thought that would be a point of emphasis. But it was I wouldn't say that like it was. That's always one of our keys to victory is to try and out rebound the other team.
And how did you feel like Flo and Jonathan played tonight defensively?
Better.
Yeah.
They they made it tougher for their bigs to touch the ball in comfortable areas, and then when they did touch the ball, they did a better job of taking away their strengths. So I felt like they were more locked into the scouting report. I felt like their legs were under them a little bit more, and I think, like I said, this is going to be a process that's going to run. It'll be mid-January, and then I think you'll start seeing it come together even better.
Next question from John Werner with the Waco Tribune Herald.
Hey, Jerome, did you feel like Mark Vital kind of set the tone for the defense tonight and the rebounding?
I think that Davion Mitchell and Mark Vital always set the tone for us. If those two guys are flying around and just intimidating the other team on the perimeter, like people are afraid to, like some guys that we play against don't want to catch the ball in certain areas with either one of those guys on them. And then what I felt like Mark did was like he just decided I was going to own the glass and I was going to get everyone shots. And he didn't care about himself. And I'm a bad coach. I wish I had known he had 8 points because I might have left him in there so he can get 2 more and had a double-double. But this is the second, for this young fella, it's the second time he's out-rebounded a Pac-12 team by himself. I mean, he had 15 rebounds. Well, they had 15 rebounds if you take away the team rebounds, which, those don't go to a player. So, no, Mark is, they call him Mr. 95 for a reason. He's considered one of the best defensive players in America for a reason. And, he means a ton to our team.
And what did Jonathan do tonight, maybe that he didn't do last night, that he played so well?
Just he had last night under his belt, and hey, this gym is quiet, so I don't know if y'all could hear it, but you could hear him making the ball screen calls. And when he was fresh, he was making the right ones. And when he got tired, I don't know what the heck he was saying. And so it's just as he stretches his conditioning, you're going to see a better and better player and the more experience. But his energy level is really, it's at a high. We call him Everyday John, because every day, you're going to get that energy, that fire, that tenacity. And so, but both he and Flo, you're going to, like I said, you're going to have to wait till January to see, but between now and then, you're going to see nights like tonight, and then you're going to see moments, like last night. So
Thanks, Jerome.
Next question from Jason King with Sigum 365.
Hey, Jerome. A lot of people will see the lopsided score and be real excited and things went well. But as a coach, when you look at these games, what are some little things that you're going to point out to keep these guys coming back and hungry, things that y'all could have done better?
Yeah, no, Jason, that's a great question. There was a stretch in the first half. I think it was a one media, probably a 4-minute stretch where we turned the ball over 5 times. And, we can't do that. And then there was a stretch in the second half. I think it was around right after the under 12 media, where we said, hey, let's not trade, but let's be the type of team that can expand the lead. Well, when at the under 8 media, we expanded the lead by 2 points, and that wasn't good enough. We would basically trade in buckets. And so those are some things that we don't want. Like last year, we would get a lead on teams, and then inevitably we would do dumb stuff and they'd come back, because we relaxed. And we want to mature past that and be a team that can, build a lead from media to media to media and play at a certain level and not play to the scoreboard.
Right. And also, as excited as you are about tonight, I'm sure you're going to put this one behind you real quick because you've got these 2 big games ahead. How excited do you think these guys are going to be, to play these 2 high-level teams next week so early in the season?
Well, these guys are going to be excited to play anybody because, games are precious right now. And so the fact that the teams are highly ranked and, they've got some really good players on there, I mean, that's only going to heighten our guys' focus. And so you don't need a lot of motivation for those games.
All right, guys, here's what we're going to do. Coach Tang has to go do his post-game radio interview, so he's going to do that. We're going to bring in Adam Flagler, and then we'll bring Coach Tang back because I know we still have a fair number of questions for him. Coach, if you wouldn't mind going to do the radio interview, we'll bring in Adam for a second.
All right. Thank y'all. See you in a little bit.
All right, I lowered everyone's hands, so if you have a question for Adam, please raise it again. Adam, you can take the mask off.
Okay.
First question for Adam Flagler comes from Jerry Hill, Baylor Bear Insider.
Adam, can you just talk about the way the start you guys got off to and you were a big part of that, hitting some threes, but you guys got up I think it was 31-7.
The great start, it started from defense. Defense is the main thing we are always worried about. We try to make sure defense travels. So when we have defense, we have extra possessions, we have transition, we have the ability to have those open shots that I did have because of my teammates. So defense was the main thing, the main concern that we had, and we executed. So
How much did that motivate you after yesterday when y'all gave up what you did? They shot over 50%. How much were y'all motivated to kind of come out and say, no, that's not the way we play defense?
it definitely was a big motivation yesterday. We watched a little bit of film and everything, but we knew what we had to do. We have a veteran group of guys, and we all had to just buy in and be connected, and that's what we did. So
Next question from Willie Ramirez with the Associated Press.
Yeah, they had their top returner was Green, and he, I think he averaged 11 or 12 points last year as their top assist guy, but he was shut down. Was he in point of emphasis today pregame, or when you guys did film or practice or talked about who to focus on, or was it just a matter of the team itself? Was there any talk of focal point on Green?
he definitely was an important piece of their team that we did put some emphasis on, and we made sure that he was a pass-first type point guard, so we made sure that we were rotating, we had ball pressure. So we did everything that we could to make sure he was flustered and out of whack, because he is the leader of this team and he is the engine.
Yesterday, also, Davion touched upon how on any given night, any given time, someone can step up. A handful of different guys can have double digits, never going to be the same. Tonight, it seemed like that, although there was a mix of some of the same guys. Can you just talk about that rhythm and chemistry for tonight?
We have an amazing group of guys that love to play with each other, love to put others first. So just like you said, at any given night, we all can have a big time game. So we feed off that. We enjoy seeing each other win, seeing each other do good and make shots and play defense, get steals. So we all want to see each other win. So that just carries on to the court and it makes a selfless team.
Next question from David Smoke with Sikkim 365.
Adam, you just kind of touched on it a little bit. It's one thing to say all that, and it's one thing to go out and you guys as a team do all that. What is it like to actually go on the court and have that feeling of sharing of whoever is hot at the time, you give them the ball and let them run?
It's an amazing feeling to have teammates that look after each other, want to see each other do good. We always focus on if somebody's making shots at a consistent rate that we're going to try to continue to get them the ball over and over because they're hot and we want to win, and that at the time is the best shot. So we always look for each other. Mark, Davion, Jared, all the guys out there always look for each other, including myself, and we just want the best shot.
What was it like for you? I'm sure it seemed like you hadn't played in a couple of years almost because of the sitting out and then the delay and all that. What was it like this weekend just for you?
It's been amazing to get out there, especially with my red shirt guys, Jonathan and Jordan. It's been amazing to get out there, play with the guys, play with the teammates that I've been practicing with ever since I got there. And they've been great, welcoming me in ever since I transferred. And they've always told me when I was out there, like, it's just like practice. You got this. You've been doing this. You'll be just fine. And they encouraged me, and it really went a long way. So I appreciate my teammates for that.
Next question from Kendall Kaut with Our Daily Bears.
Adam, you all have been shooting deeper threes very effectively this season. How are you all trying to strike that balance between if a 3, 5 feet behind the line, still a good shot, versus driving and trying to make sure you're in kind of the right space, which you've done so far quite well?
Coach Drew, a lot of times he tells us that we definitely can step up. We've been working, of course, on our range and everything, just because it makes us more deadly of a team the farther we can shoot. But we all communicate with each other and tell each other that we can get to the paint. And once we get to the paint, we'll be able to step in, shoot more uncontested shots. So that's what we focus on, and we communicate that throughout the whole game.
Next question from Willie Ramirez with the Associated Press.
You mentioned Coach Drew. I'm just curious, while he's been in isolation, have you guys shared any Zoom chats with him? Has he given you any motivational speeches? Is there any talk when you guys are coming out on the floor? Hey, let's get this one for Coach Drew. Anything along those lines?
Coach Drew has been a part of this 2 games the whole time. When we've had scout, he's been on Zoom calls. He's been on calls when we've been in the locker room before the game. After the game, when we pray, he's involved praying as well. So just because he's away doesn't mean that he's not here. And he's going to do everything in his power to make sure we know that he cares and wants to be here. And we're so excited for him to come back on Tuesday. So.
Next question from Andrew Miner with Baylor 24/7.
Sure. Just a quick question on your next couple of opponents. Have you had a chance to watch any of the highlights or game film of Illinois or Gonzaga yet?
We haven't watched any film of Illinois or Gonzaga or anybody ahead of us that we're about to play. We always focus on going 1-0 and focusing on the next opponent. So that's what we've been doing. We've been watching day by day, taking it day by day. So, no, we haven't.
Have you caught any of their highlights maybe?
I try to stay off social media. I've seen it from teammates and everything, but I try my best to stay off social media because it can get consuming.
Sure. Thank you.
Next question from Jason King with Sikkim 365.
Adam, kind of off topic, but what is it like playing in an environment with no fans? Is it still just as fun and intense? Does it change anything? How do y'all approach that?
It's definitely different. We provide the energy on the bench through the coaches. We always focus on controlling what we can control. And with fans not being out here, we have to control the energy and we have to bring that fire that we need to have every game to compete at the highest level. So of course, it feels a little different looking out there and not seeing anybody, but we're so excited to be out here. We haven't played in so long, so it doesn't matter, to be honest.
All right, that's all for Adam. We got Coach Tang ready to step in. Adam, thank you for your time.
All right, thank you guys.
My parents got on me yesterday because they said I think I wasn't talking loud.
Oh, no, you were good. He was wondering if y'all could hear him. Y'all would have let us know if you couldn't. All right. Sorry we had to cut off Coach Tang earlier. Had to get to that radio interview. Next question for Coach Tang comes from Willie Ramirez with the Associated Press.
Jerome, how you doing? I got a couple for you. Green from Washington. He was their top returner. He had brought back, out of all their returners, he had brought back, I believe, 30% of their returning scoring and their top assist, their top playmaker. Was he an emphasis pregame? Did you talk to the guys about, aside from yesterday not being a happy camper and allowing Lafayette to get 82 points, you had said you wanted to work on that, but focusing on Green, was there anything said to sort of clamp him down?
Yes, definitely. Last year they were 12-4 in games he played, and this year, and then when he was out, they were 4-11, I believe. And so he was the engine that ran that team, and so we really wanted to cut off the head of the snake, and we got the guy who can do that. And when Davion Mitchell is on you that night, most of the time you're walking away going, "Oh, I just had an off night," and so.
You've been with Scott for quite some time. You're now 4-0. Is it as a fill-in head coach? Is there a magical formula there? You're 2-0 several years back. You're 2-0 to start this season.
Yeah, there's definitely a magical formula, and it's called players, right? That's what it's called, players. Like this is not a div. Like coach has got this thing. It's like a machine, man. I'm telling you, we got an unbelievable staff that knows what the next thing needs to be done and solves problems that you don't have to worry about. And our players, they love each other, and they're just great guys, and they can hoop. You know what I mean? They can really, really hoop. So it didn't matter who was sitting in that chair tonight. We was getting a dub.
Flagler had one last question. Flagler had a great quote. He had said, "Just because he's not here doesn't mean he's not with us." Scott being involved with the Zoom sessions, the scouting, even though he's in isolation, you just talk about how much he's sort of been a part of this trip and making sure that he's constantly present, even though he's not here.
Well, let me tell you, this is the great thing about Scott, that he didn't try to always be here. He actually just said, "Hey, whenever y'all need me, let me know. If you don't need me, or if I'm getting in the way, tell me." Like he was willing to not be involved. Just what is it that you need me to do to make it easier for you guys to have success on this trip? Now, how many guys that are running an elite basketball program in America is when they have to step away will say, "Hey, I'm willing to not be involved at all." I mean, that just shows the humility and the trust that he has in the staff, and just the kind of person that he is. And so that's why these dudes run through the wall for him, because they know how much he loves them, and it's about them, and it's not about him, and it's not about us. It's about our players.
Next question from Jason Orts with the Waco Tribune Herald.
Coach, maybe it wasn't revenge, but was there a little bit of extra attention paid to this Washington team just because of what happened last year?
Yes.
What was that additional motivation there?
Well, we felt like we should have won that game last year, and with 5 minutes to go, we had a lead, and they went on a 21-5 run and won the game. And we just, that didn't sit well. And it wasn't. They won. They were a better team for 5 minutes that night, but they weren't a better team than us. And we were thankful that we got an opportunity to fix that.
How big of a deal was it for you guys to be able to come out here and get a couple of games in and just kind of get the season started with all the uncertainty that was going on before this?
Man, that was the thing that we're most thankful for, the opportunity just to play. And as you saw, last night, both teams early were tired. And I felt like early in this game, Washington, because it was their first game, the speed of the game is so different. Felt they were a little tired. It hit them a little harder and quicker than normal. And until you go through it, you don't understand it, and so that just getting to play these games, man, it's just such a blessing. And, like I was telling, our fans, I saw some comments about, Flow TV and it wasn't good, but you know what? We got to see the Baylor Bears on a basketball court, whether you had to watch it on the internet or on your phone or whatever it was, the stream was back, whatever it was, we could be thankful that we got to see the Baylor Bears play basketball.
And last one for me. Last night, you said you weren't a happy camper after allowing 82 points and 52% shooting. How would you describe yourself, or I guess how would you describe your emotions about the effort on the defensive end today?
I'm a happy camper with the effort on the defensive end today.
Thanks,
I was pleased with our guys' focus. I only thought we had a couple lulls and when I'm talking like 4-minute segments, I thought there were a couple of them where we let it get away from us. And but other than that, I thought we were pretty locked in.
Next question from Andrew Miner with Bears Illustrated.
Yeah, Coach, congrats on the win. Mark Vital gets a lot of credit for his hustle plays, the intangibles, but a lot of your guys go all out and make a lot of those extra effort plays. You had a couple tonight. JTT threw the ball to Butler, and Mitchell had one where he saved the ball to Butler. Teague and Vital were on that play in the baseline. My question is, what does it mean to you as a coach to see so many of your players just going all out and making those gritty plays when sometimes another player might not do that?
And for me, that's like, forget the scoreboard. That's what it is, like exactly what you said. The way our guys are willing to make winning plays, and we call those winning plays. Too many people focus on the ball going through the hole, and stuff. But those type of plays where you allow your team to have extra possessions or you take away a possession from the other team, and we don't give up on plays. It really speaks to the character of the guys that they've bought into being the toughest team on the court. And we have a saying that the toughest team wins. And, I felt that showed through tonight.
Thank you, Coach.
Final question for Coach Tang comes from Jason King with Sikkim 365.
It's not on yet, Jay.
Can you just kind of fill us in on what's next in terms of Scott is going to join you guys? And also, how's Vegas? What's it like out there during the pandemic? Is David K winning any money on the craps table?
Left his room.
Well,
just
other than the room, my room and the meeting room, and the lobby, I hadn't seen much. There's not a lot of people, and normally when I'm in Vegas in July for recruiting, it's really, really hot. Well, it gets cold in Vegas. I didn't know that. And so we're gonna catch a flight tonight and be in Indy, and we're gonna sleep in the morning and have a good breakfast, and then kind of figure things out from there based on how their bodies feel and stuff. Start our prep for Illinois, and then Scott will join us on Tuesday, and then we will be at full strength again.
Good. Thank you.
All right, one more question from Willie Ramirez with the Associated Press.
I'm just curious. There's been a couple of teams, and I'm not sure if it's 2 men, 2 women, or one of each that have actually tried playing with a mask in the game itself. Has there been any conversation with the medical staff? Has there been any discussion as to whether you could pull off wearing a mask or whether the players could do that? And then also, are you doing that during practice, official practices? Are they wearing it throughout?
We don't wear masks in practice unless we are stretching or in the weight room. I haven't heard any conversation about playing a game. I can barely coach with one on, so I can't imagine the guys having to be out there running up and down the court with a mask on. So, yeah, I don't know about that one.
All right, that's it. Thanks everybody for joining us. Thank you, Coach Tang. Really appreciate you coming back to answer the final questions.
Thanks, everybody.
We'll do this again on,
Thanks, Jerome.
We'll do a media availability in Indianapolis on Tuesday. I'll send out information on that. Thank you.
Thank you, Dave.
4-0, Jerome. 4-0.
Thank you.